Hey, it's Dave with DaBelly, NAMM 2018. We're in the Paul Reed Smith booth with Brian Ewald. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Want to hear about all the new stuff from Paul Reed Smith? Talk a little bit. Tell me what you got going on.
Okay, sure. Starting off, we'll start with the SEs. There's a couple new signature models. There's a Mark Tremonti standard SE, so you can now get that in the all mahogany body, even more affordable price point. So you have two options of Mark Tremonti's and the SE. There's a brand new Chris Robertson model, which is super cool. It is a single cut model with a 5708 S pickup. So the first time the 5708 has been adapted in the SE line, and a Sopar neck pickup. Really, really classic combination. He's a huge Leslie West fan. Does that stuff really well. We've got one actually right here. Beautiful guitar. He's got his own Blackstone Cherry is his band, so this is the Blackstone Cherry Burst. Nice, huh? That's a nice touch. Super, super cool guitar.
It's a beautiful finish, like all the Paul Reed Smith stuff. Not a surprise. It's a gorgeous looking guitar.
So, and speaking of finishes, in the SE line, we also have down here we have the multi-foil finish, which is very similar to a finish that they offered in the late '80s. The PRS Metal was one of them. They had a metal foil guitar that they come back out with that in the SE line. This one behind me is a zebra wood. There's also a spalted maple option in the SE. So the Custom 24 has a couple new wood finish options. Very almost like private stock looking. Certainly doesn't look like a budget guitar. These really cool exotic wood options. Another really big thing in the SE world is the left-handed option. Now there's a Custom 24 for all the southpaws out there. I know I get questions all the time from left-handed players like, when are you going to make a guitar in SE for us? So now there is an option out there, and I'm sure those are going to do really, really well. There's a new 7-string, a revamped version of the 7-string with a longer scaling. So
let me grab it here.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's 26.5-inch scale length, the longer scale length, which definitely does better with the extended range guitars, especially if you want to drop tune it. All of the SEs have now been brought up to date. The pickups and other things other than the Robertson and the signature models, the 8515S pickups have been added to the standard line. The standards also have added binding on the standard 24 has binding on the neck and headstock. They look fantastic. So everything has been brought up, not only in the pickups, but also the new headstock logo, as you can see, has Paul's signature on it, an updated version of the SE headstock. So a lot of exciting stuff in the SEs. As a matter of fact, I'll let you set that down. What I'm holding here is one of the new SE acoustics. The acoustic line has been completely redone. There are 6 guitars in the lineup now. There are 3 in the Angelus cutaway body, which has been, the principal, the shape for the PRS acoustics. You can now get all 3 of them in the Tonari body style, which is the non-cutaway. So depending on what your preferences are, there's 3 bodywood combinations. There's a mahogany back and top, that's the 20 series. There is an open call back and top, which is the 40 series. That's very similar to rosewood. Beautiful look and sound of that guitar. And then this is the 50 with a figured maple back and sides. Just absolutely gorgeous. This 50 also adds real shell inlay. This is not colorful plastic. This is abalone inlay. This looks like a private stock acoustic guitar, but the price point is still under $1,000. They have a great sounding Fishman pickup system in them with controls right inside. The only difference between the 20 and the others is that the 20 has a traditional X brace in the top, where the 40 and the 50 still have the hybrid X brace with a fan brace that Paul has been using. So some great sounding and beautiful looking acoustics in the SE line. Still all from the $600 to $850 range. Still just very affordable, but they really sound like $1 million.
Yeah, it is amazing looking guitar, and at that price, really, how can you go wrong?
Yeah. So that's with the SEs. That that covers most of it. Then a couple things, a couple limited runs in the S2 and CE. So there's the S2 Studio, which is hanging right behind you. So this is based off of the S2 standard line, all mahogany, but because it's a pickguard, you can do interesting things with pickup combinations pretty easily. So adding, this bridge and neck pickup is the combination you would see on a Vela. It's the Starler bridge pickup and the Type D single coil. So adding that Vela pickup combination with a additional Type D in the center and a 5-way blade switch gives you all kinds of great, bridge and middle and neck positions. The one cool thing about the 5-way, which is less traditional, is instead of the center position being the center pickup, it gives you the outside tube.
Oh, okay.
So you can get a lot of great, really 60s style, single coil sounds out of it. You can get some really great country.
A lot of flexibility.
Yeah, and the humbucker and the bridge is splittable. So it gives you a lot of sound options. The name Studio really kind of infers the fact that you want versatility. You want to bring one guitar in, be able to cover a lot of ground. This is right up my alley. When this came out, I took one out on a couple gigs, and it was hard to give it back.
Undoubtedly, yes.
This is going to be a 3-month order window on that. So if you're interested in that, I would recommend going out and checking one out quick. Another limited run is hanging right behind me, is the CE Floyd, also known as the Dusty Waring Signature. So Dusty from Between the Buried and Me has his first signature model guitar out, and this is also the first CE signature model ever. So there's been SE signatures in core and private stock, but the first CE signature, CE being a bolt-on, it's still the carved top. This one has a maple fingerboard, which obviously you can see, but that is not usually an option on the CE.
Right.
It's got the Floyd. It's got his signature pickups in it that are made by Mojo Tone. Great sounding pickups, still clean up really well, but great for heavier gain stuff. And obviously the satin finish. Changed the knob layout a little bit, and also put a 5-way blade switch instead of doing the 3-way toggle with a push pull like this.
Exactly.
So it's a really cool guitar. Another limited order window. I would again get out and check one of those out soon if you're interested. And finally, probably the most exciting news of this NAMM, probably the most talked about, is this amp. Next to me is the MT15, Mark Tremonti's signature amp. His first signature amp he's ever had. He's a self-proclaimed amp nut. So he fell in love with the Archon when he first heard it, and he's been playing those. So this is based off of that Archon platform, voiced for him. It sounds amazing. The clean channel is just absolutely beautiful. Not what you would expect from an amp that's designed as a high gain thing. Just gorgeous sounding clean, takes pedals really well. It is only 15 watts, but it is bone-crushingly loud if you want it to be. It sounds great at low volumes. There's actually even a half power switch if you want to get a little sag. So it still works great as a bedroom amp, but just because it's 15 watts does not mean you couldn't take this out onto a big stage and use it. It's got plenty of headroom. Pretty straightforward. The 2 channels, you've got a push-pull on the clean treble pot, which gives you a bright boost, so you have a couple different voicings for the top end on the clean channel. But one of my favorite features, you can switch the channels via a little switch on the front or the single button foot switch, and when you change channels, it's very easy to see which channel you're on. There's these really cool LEDs inside, so red for dirty and blue for clean.
No mystery there.
The optional 112, close-back 112, is loaded with a vintage 30. You can get the head and the cabinet together, right at $1,000. The head by itself, I think, is mid-6s. He was very, very interested in keeping the price point as affordable as possible. But obviously, with Paul's attention to quality control and everything, it takes a little while to make those things work. Keep the price point low, but keep it up to Paul's standards. And I think they've done a great job. These things have been road tested, and they sound just great.
Gorgeous amp. Well, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good show.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for coming by. Enjoy the rest of the show.